Welcome into the LFC transfer room. Jack, Chris, Maddie going to be joined in a bit by Kurt if his internet issues allow him to join us here today. We've been enjoying some Euro content. Looks like Chris has been enjoying the sun based on the nice little red face. Chris, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm great, mate. It's great to be with the OGs. It's the OGs today.
It is, until Kurt gets here, and then it's just a new guy.
Just ruins everything.
Well, today, as the title suggests, we're talking about Nat Phillips, kind of a focused stream, about half an hour in between these matches here today. So basically, it's going to be kind of a relaxed discussion about what Liverpool should do in the center back department. It's a very simple question, but there's probably a lot of different debate on it. Nat Phillips, keep or sell? Maddie, lead us off.
If you would have asked me after 2 or 3 games when he come in, I would have said absolutely sell. I didn't want to see him near the first team. I thought Reece was better. Now, at the end of the season, I think I'd like to keep him. I think it makes more sense. Like, if we are really cash-strapped, like what's being reported, as much as I would like to have Kabak, I think it'd make more sense to keep Phillips and not buy Kabak and save the money. But then if you're getting 15 mil for Nat Phillips, it's one of them, innit? Like 15 mil for a fourth choice. That's good money.
Talk of the devil, look who's just arrived.
We've got
Hello.
Kurt, how you doing?
I'm very well. A bit frustrated with internet issues, but apart from that, all good. How are you boys?
It's par for the course, I guess.
Surviving.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Matty. What's going on there?
What's with the lights on?
Maddie likes to have like issues with his setup. I remember a stream in the past where like your Virgil thing just fell off the wall randomly.
Yeah, they're still not being put back up because I'm too scared in case it crushes me or something.
Anyways, Kurt, glad to have you with us. Kind of just talking about Nat Phillips, obviously, but Maddie's given his take. Are you in? Are you Nat Phillips in or Nat Phillips out?
I am, unfortunately, despite everything he's done for us this season, last season, I'm Nat Phillips out.
Chris.
I'm 50-50, boys, if I'm being honest. Because I try my best not to listen to Bad News Pierce on a regular basis, but I can't help it. He just makes me sad every single day. It's genuinely depressing just looking through James Pierce's Twitter account. But he said today that the Kabak ship has sailed, and just looking at that, it's just properly depressing. Like I just can't deal with it. So if the Kabak ship has sailed, which Bad News Pierce appears to say it is, then I am Phillips in.
Let us know in the comments if you're Nat Phillips in or out. It's been a recurring theme, I think, for this entire summer is just the financial limitations of every signing we want to make. Like, I think in an ideal world, we wouldn't keep Phillips. We would replace him with someone else. Apologies if you can hear my dog from upstairs in the background there. Beyond Kabak, is there anyone that could realistically replace Phillips either as a signing or in the rotation that would not leave us with a situation last year where we had a Jordan Henderson, a Fabinho playing at the back when injuries struck? So is there anyone beyond Kabak that we could look at as an alternative?
I don't see the point, though, for me, if you're selling Kabak and a cut price deal, so if you are selling Phillips for 15 million and that brings you in Kabak, then I think I'd rather that because Kabak's really got more potential. And he knows the team already. He hasn't got a gel in, and it's whether who else would come in knowing that they are ultimately a fourth choice, maybe even fifth if Matip doesn't go. Because Matip, when he's fit, is one of the best central defenders in the world. Joe Gomez has still got to come back. You've got Canate, who've just spent 30-odd million on, so he's going to start. And no one's replacing Van Dijk, so it's who's going to come in knowing that the fifth in line, ultimately.
I think that it's a false thing, though, because if you look at the 4 people in front of you, that you can almost guarantee that 2 of them will be injured at any one time.
True, yeah.
Because you got Matip's made of glass, Gomez has got a long-term injury in him, whatever. Virgil's coming back from an ACL, and Canate's not exactly got the greatest record either. So I think for that, and that's why I want to keep him, partly because we need cover. If you look at them, all 4 of them could drop at any moment. They're like a glass bottle off a shelf. Like it's impossible to make sure that they're all fit at the same time. And if they are, then I mean, I'd like to count the days that all 4 of them are fit at this season at the same time, because I can't see them be over like 30 or 40. So Yeah, it's a difficult one. But if in talking about replacements, I think there's no better than Kabak, especially if we can get him on a cut price deal and being a fifth choice centre back. That'd be class.
Yeah, I mean, Kavak seems like a no-brainer. I mean, it's just so infuriating that it's such a basic deal. Fits at what FSG like to do. He's a guy everyone seems to like. And I mean, he changed his bio on Twitter.
Doesn't he remind you a little tiny bit of Dejan Lovren, though? I like Kabak, but in terms of Lovren, you knew Lovren had a mistake every game. Kabak has got a mistake in him.
I don't know.
He has got a mistake in him. But for me, I don't think Liverpool will buy someone else if they do sell Phillips. I think they'll go into the season with Van Dijk, Canate, Matip, Gomez, and then maybe using Reece and Billy Cometio because he was out last season, but Klopp rates him really, really highly. So I think a lot of fans have maybe forgot about Billy because he's been injured. But it seems like Klopp really rates him. So maybe he's going to go into the season with 4 senior centre-backs and then 2 kids as backups. So I've just seen a comment of Ramos. So I'd rather...
Tara.
I'm going to bring up this comment first. I think it's quite funny. Like, Phillips's head is like just a stone. Like, it could just knock some stuff around. Like, he's definitely... There are some players where you wonder if mentality plays a big part in injury. And he definitely has I'm going to put my head through this football and it is going to go many yards down the field. Ramos, all right. We engaged in this talk a little while back. Tell me why. Ramos on a free.
I would no, not a chance. Don't get me wrong, phenomenal footballer for what he's done for Real Madrid, but he's a rat. I don't want rats at this club.
And we don't want players on their final paycheck.
Yeah.
No.
Don't want to be another Everton, do we? Everton. That's what people do.
Absolutely not.
So, yeah, Cometio, I think, is an interesting one, but I think he is too young. I don't think we want to like Reece Williams, I think, will have benefited from playing this season, but I don't think we want to thrust every young player to have to be in the
I think he'd be 6th choice then. I think Reece would then take 5th and Billy would probably take 6th. And if we're that unlucky with injury, we're not going to be that unlucky, touch wood, as we was last year with injuries in the same position this year.
It was a bit of a
Go on, Kurt.
It was a bit of a messy, ridiculous season the way we had our injuries last year. I don't expect it to be the same, and I really hope that it isn't the same. Which is why I think if we were to make the decision to sell Nat now, his stock is probably as high as it's going to be. I think with the 4 centre-backs in front of him, if he were to stay, it would only lower next season.
We know Cheddar's here, don't we? Yeah, okay.
Cheddar,
get out of here, Cheddar.
Get in the stream if you want to talk about Vinicius being trash. Otherwise, keep your dumb takes to yourself. Anyway. So I think there is also a case of maybe we need to sell. Phillips is one of our best assets. Crazy as it is to say, he's one of our best movable assets. £15 million for him. How many other players in the squad are we getting more money from?
I can't believe we're getting £15 million for him.
Neither can I. But if we get £15 million for him, and that gets us one step closer to actually filling a need in midfield or as a backup to the front 3, but not replacing him at the back, is that something we can afford to do?
I think people sleep on that, Phillips. I really do. People are sleeping on him. I think he's far more than people are giving him credit for. Yes, he's limited, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have finished 3rd last season. Like, yes. Genuinely, he is much more skillful than people give him credit for. Yes, he's very, very one-dimensional, but there's worse players that have gone for 30, 40 million than Nat Phillips. So I'd 100% say he's worth. I think we're almost shortchanging for 15 million, but yeah. Apart from that, I think it would be a good idea if it was, if we were to sell Nat for 15 to 20 million, whatever, and then we could invest in, say, Ryan Gravenberch or maybe Neuhaus. Yeah. That'd be quite tasty. But it's all about where we need it and if it's really needed. And I still think that's really needed. So who knows?
I think that you have a good point on he's worth more. If he was the first choice center back for Brighton or for Burnley, he's going for 30, 40 million because his skills and his need in the squad are much different. He's got a year left on his contract with us, and
I think that's why, though.
Choice. Yeah, that's why he's only 50 million. I think he could be almost double that if he was on a long-term contract and if he was the first choice center back wherever he would have been. So,
I mean, it's one thing positive I would say is it's good to see Liverpool actively looking to sell people while the market's high. because I still strongly believe we should have sold Divock Origi after we won the Champions League, because I think he would have got 25 mil for Divock Origi after he just scored a Champions League winning goal.
More than that.
Whereas now there's reports that Origi's being offered around for 10 million. So it's good to see us capitalising. Will Nat Phillips ever make it at Liverpool Football Club? Probably not. Being realistic, he's probably not going to make it in the starting 11 unless there was injuries. Will he make it at Burnley? I think I said it to you, Jack, on a Red or Dead a few months ago. He's a Burnley type player, and if they're losing Tarkowski or me, then it makes sense for him to go there. And I wish him the best of luck if he does. He's got no bad grade towards him at all.
I didn't realize you play for Burnley, Matty. They're going to lose you, me.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
Dreadful.
Look, this is actually a positive way to look at it. We were going to sell him for far less, and his stock has risen for an year. Now, this brings me to my next point. Thinking about stock rising, invest in the stock of Ben Davies. Next season, he's going to go off. He's going to be his replacement.
I forgot about him.
I genuinely forgot about him, actually. Yeah.
It actually would make sense. If Nat's going, to me, that means Ben Davies is staying.
Yeah, it's one or the other in my eyes.
Actually, to be fair, actually, that's changed my mind. I completely forgot he existed. If we can get 15 million, Ben Davies is already a ready-made replacement. Happy days. Move on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I completely agree that I think we need to sell to buy because of the finances. I was actually poking through them, like the Liverpool financial statements, because I was bored earlier today. That speaks to how bored I am. I was looking at the LFC financial statements. We went from a £40 million profit season prior to the financial statements of 2020, right before we won the Champions League, a £40 million loss.
That's pandemic, though, isn't it? It's pandemic.
It's very beginning of the pandemic. We'd only lost 4 home matches in the Prem at that point. So next year's are going to be £70 million worse. So it's going to be a tough summer to try and sign players. So I agree. It is going to have to be a sell to buy.
What does my head in about that, Jack, is every single club in the world football is in the same position as us. And you're seeing Chelsea apparently in talks for 175 mil for Haaland.
I know.
It's just like, come on, because financial fair play is being relaxed. This is now where FSG should say, let's plough some money in and we will get it back by winning the league, winning the Champions League, etc.
See,
there's no guarantee there, though,
wouldn't they?
There's no guarantee. Liverpool are in a much better financial position than the vast majority of people because of this. Listen. It's for a meme. It's memes, isn't it, boys?
No, I think Chris is emotional that we're losing Genie. I think
it's a tribute.
Yeah, he didn't realize how much.
Threw his guard up, didn't he, Jack? That's what he's been calling him crap because he's really heartbroken.
He was just trying to make it less emotional when he finally leaves, and when he sees him play for PSG, it's just going to be tears down the face.
Nah, I can't remember. Liverpool are in a much better financial position than the vast majority of clubs because of the sell to buy model. And that's why it's what's seen Barcelona mudded, Real Madrid mudded for finances. We're actually we could go and spend that money, but I don't think we will. Purely because we don't want to be in that situation, and I'd rather not be, if I'm being honest.
I also want to raise something. It's always interesting for me to see how we can slag off like City or Chelsea as oil clubs, and simultaneously want that for ourselves. And obviously, there's different circumstances and things like that. We're not asking for Haaland, I don't think. I think we're just asking for Newhouse and a backup for the front three. We have low standards, but it's always interesting to me that, and we turned away the Super League. Justified, but that was the kind of money we needed to try and make sure we could sign these players.
I saw a tweet from my good mate Nimmo, who's actually going to make an appearance on the channel soon, and he said, "Man City, PSG save football, but they're spending £200 million XYZ on these players. Save football, Super League bad, innit?"
Yeah, very interesting contrast, but it would mean we could sign a Grealish or a Tielemans. I mean, what our ethical compass?
That's optimistic.
I would love Jack Grealish at Liverpool. I think he is amazing. I think he's one of the best up and coming footballers, and he's only 25 as well. I think people seem to I thought he was a lot older than what you guys thought, but maybe just feels like he's been around for ages. But he's 25 and he's saucy.
I saw him in the 2015 FA Cup semi-final, in which we lost to Aston Villa.
Beginning of his prime. So I want to back to Nat Phillips. This is an interesting concept. Keep till January. would we get the kind of money if we sold him in January? It fits, Chris, your need for having the option.
Van Dijk will start against Norwich. I have got no doubt. I mean, the fact he didn't go to the Euros, so he could be fit for the opening day. I've got no doubt in my mind. Virgil van Dijk starts that first game. Maybe not Gomez, but Canate looks like he's probably ready. So
yeah, I'm just gonna like to see the 4 and the 5 because Canate kind of leaked that he's gonna be the number 5 to replace Wijnaldum. So seeing the 4 and the 5 at center back is just gonna be a little aesthetically pleasing.
No, he's looked at the shirt again.
With Sharpie, he's write Canate over the Wijnaldum, or like take a piece of tape.
Wait, boys, I'm going to swap some kits around right there.
Yeah, is this true? Gomez is ahead of Van Dijk.
Yeah, I heard that.
But with Pierce, I'd take everything that he's saying at the minute with a pinch of salt, and let's not forget that a lot of the stuff he does say is stuff the club's actually told him to say.
Yeah.
For example, the Fato deal. We all know that actually has went through. So I would take stuff that James Pierce is saying with a pinch of salt, because he's saying what the club want him to say, not really information.
Look, I mean, it's always tough. I mean, we're the LFC transfer room, right? We need to speculate on like these transfers, but it's so tough with Liverpool because like they don't give up anything. Like they just have.
With that Fato deal, though, it's just because if we announced them, we would be breaking the law. So he has went to Sporting, but we'll mysteriously buy him next summer when he's 18, more than likely.
That seems almost more mysterious, like against the law than like just flat out doing it.
Yeah, but no one knows, dude. I think most clubs do it.
It's all underhand in football, man. It's corrupt as anything. So,
but with them, in terms of them being, I wouldn't say Gomez might be ahead of him, but for me, Van Dijk was out on the grass a long time before Gomez, so it's worrying if Gomez is overtaking him in terms of recovery schedule.
Everyone wants to know the answer to this question, Zach, but to try and get into the mind of Liverpool and the mind games that we might want to play, it's impossible. Maybe it's because people want Norwich and Burnley to be like nice and relaxed on the first couple of days because Van Dijk's not playing. I don't know.
Or maybe it's because they want to sell Nat Phillips for 15 mil. So if you make it look like you're struggling for your centre backs to come back, you can then say to Burnley, "No, actually, we might need them, so we need 20 mil."
Yeah. All right. Let me throw out a concept here. All right. So we keep Nat Phillips. We don't replace Wijnaldum. We instead get a top class forward, maybe Mbappe. Rumors that he was.
Shut up, Jack. Shut up.
Where's this come from?
Jack, shut up.
but we play 3 at the back. That's why we don't sign a replacement for Wijnaldum.
It's negative football. I've said this to you so many times, Jack. It's negative football. We're not Stoke. We're not playing under Tony Pulis or Sam Allardyce. We're playing under Jurgen Klopp.
But imagine Trent's getting 15 assists a season.
I don't care. It's negative.
Jack, shush.
It's negative football. Trent is getting the numbers he's getting playing as a back 4. I wouldn't change it. Having playing 5 at the back so negative. Look at some of the teams who played 5 at the back in the Euros. It's just been so negative.
Yeah.
It's just pointless, I think.
I was looking at, because Hakimi is reportedly going to sign for PSG. A lot of upset Chelsea fans that they did not buy Hakimi. Like Chelsea fans, like enjoy your life because you get ample money and you just get to see new players, new toys every week. Pretty much.
Won the Champions League. Calm yourselves.
But yeah, exactly.
We signed Adrian.
Yeah, exactly. Understand.
Flashbacks.
Look, I don't think 3 at the back will happen. It would be like nice in concept, but it would never happen in practice because Klopp hates it, and I think everyone in Liverpool probably hates it. Like the fans, like Matty would be leading the 3 at the back, 5 at the back.
It's just, but that's the only way to win a game of footy on the new FIFA. That's how negative it is because you've got to put that many people back. So in real life, 5 at the back. Connor Cody, for example, looks decent with 3 at the back. Put him in a back 4, he looks terrible. So it's just Liverpool centre-backs have played for years in a back 4. If you put them in a back 5, they've got to learn the role again because ultimately
some of the worst football I've ever seen Liverpool play was in a back 3 under Brendan Rodgers.
Like Chan at centre half.
Yeah, to be fair, it steadied us because we were that bad anyway. But like, it was still terrible football. Markovic, a right wing back, boys. Come on,
God.
That was an era. That was an era that we do not want to go back to. So This is kind of a more broad concept, but the more I've heard James Pierce talk, the more depressed I have become because he's just like saying no, Fatawu, whatever the guy's name is.
To be fair, he did
James
say that
Pierce
last year
said that Thiago weren't coming last year. Not a chance it was coming, and he signed. So
yeah,
all these in the nose don't really know anything. Really, the only people who know is Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp.
That's the only saving grace for me. But I'm worried that we're not. I mean, going into the window, our dream windows was a center back in Konate, maybe a Kabak as well, on top of.
I agree with that.
Bob Bradley, bro.
Bob Bradley, American. Oh God. All I gotta say. But we wanted to sign a midfielder. We wanted to sign a forward. Are we a competitive squad if we have maybe one more addition, like a midfielder up front? Are we going to be able to be challenging for the title next season?
I think with Virgil van Dijk back, Liverpool win the. I think if he wasn't injured all season, we would have won the league. And fans back in as well. That's massive. Liverpool. This squad won the Premier League. Let's not forget. They've only added Thiago into it. So when there's fans back in and Van Dijk's back in and Gomez is back in, then Liverpool will piss the league next year. I'm confident of it. City weren't exactly fantastic champions this year. They were only 1 point better off than they was the year before. So it was just a poor season. I honestly think Liverpool piss the league next year. I'm confident.
I love it. I love it.
That's a huge shout.
I love it, mate. I love it, mate. But
I remember back in it was like February, March, when we had first started doing our pre and post match live streams.
February, March being the worst part of the season.
And Maddie is just always optimistic. Like he could see 7 put past him, and he's thinking, all right, we'll put 7 past the next team next up. And it was unbelievable how bad we were playing compared to how, like, when you hear Maddie, you're like, man, we must be like just these dominant teams.
For 26 years, Jack, I've been saying it's our year, so I'm never going to change. But I genuinely do think this year that we have got a really, really, really good chance because City are on a madness. They're trying to get Kane and offering the likes of Laporte and Sterling and all that, like players who are part of their like starting 11, in my opinion. So
I'm going to go out and say something. Reports that United are very close to Sancho today. Reports, I mean, Kane, obviously. So Chelsea going for Haaland, City going for Kane, United going for Sancho.
Liverpool go for Mbappe.
That would be perfect. But those guys likely aren't going to sign too much more on top of that. And I agree that we don't need to sign someone like that. Like, I think if you look at our squad, a Haaland, like, he debatably doesn't get in the side. Debatably.
Oh, I don't know. We would have to change the way we play. We'd have to change the way we play.
I think Erling Haaland is one of the only people who does walk into our side.
Just making sure I have heard that right. Haaland doesn't get into.
Jack, you come up with some questionable shit.
Think about it. So we would
have. He was asking for Sterling back the other day, and now he's saying Haaland. I'm going to the team, Jack.
Think about it. Haaland would have to change the way we play. We cannot play the way we currently do with Haaland because Haaland ain't going to play like Firmino does. So it's going to force Salah to change. It's going to force Mane to change. And you know what? That kind of forcing of everyone to change may lead to Firmino being a better option in some games, which is why he doesn't get in our team always. But I digress.
Definitely. But
nice try.
Curtis Jones or Mbappe, Maddie? Which one do you think?
Curtis Jones, of course, all day.
Wait, my shirt's in the wash, but I have got a Curtis Jones shirt, so you know.
Nice. Curtis Jones will be generational. I've been saying it for years. He will be generational for Liverpool. People haven't seen the best of him yet, but he is going to be world class.
So I forget if I've definitely asked this question, maybe not to you, Maddie, but Curtis Jones more minutes as the Wijnaldum role. Is that something you're up for?
No.
Yeah. Chris,
not for me.
Saying.
Not for me. Well, no, because it stunts his creativity, man. He's so much better than Wijnaldum. It's unreal how much better a footballer he is.
I think you need to put Curtis on the left side and maybe put Thiago in the Wijnaldum role and then put so Curtis can advance more. But one thing I would like to see from Curtis this year is a bit more confidence because he can't half it. It's a ball. And sometimes he's been in positions in the game and you've been like, just hit it, lad. And he won't hit it because obviously he wants to play it safe and pass it to Henderson, where I've followed him for a few years, obviously, and he can't half hit a ball. He's so good. He's so talented.
It's ridiculous how good he is.
So back to the fundamental idea of the stream. So Liverpool need to sign, I think, a player or two in some key spots just to freshen up the squad. Like whether or not this side can do what it needs to do. But last season we saw a mentality problem because there was no fans. We were really just in the crapper mentality wise. So getting some fresh talent in there would be nice. I agree with that, but that would require a change of system. So Nat Phillips, our final verdict as we near the end of our stream. We're at about 3-4 more minutes. Are we keeping him? Are we selling him? When are we selling him? Because there was the January option too. Chris, lead our vote off.
I came into this stream very much Nat Phillips in, but that has changed following the existence of Ben Davies. So I think it would be very, very wise to cash in if we get an offer over £15 million. And I would sell him now.
Maddie.
I'd sell him. I don't think we need that many centre-backs. I think this season's been a freak and having how many injuries we did in that department. Nat Phillips will always be a cult hero, so to speak, getting us third, getting us Champions League football. Performance has been amazing. Best of luck to him, but he's not good enough to be starting week in, week out for Liverpool in the long term, so sell him.
Sell him. All right, Kurt, we have 2 sells. Are you on the sell boat?
I'm on the sell boat. It has to be. I think you're not going to get this opportunity to get as much for Nat Phillips in the future. It has to be you sell him now to the highest bidder. It has to be.
I'm going to agree with you all. I'm going to point back to Origi, maybe even Adrian, players who had really high stocks.
Wait. Who was interested in Adrian ever?
After the Super Cup,
he only just signed. What are you on about?
So sell him a month after he joins?
I'm not saying we should have sold Adrian. I'm saying that his stock was high and then it plummeted.
Right.
So, Phillips, okay. I think the more you see of him next season and onwards at Liverpool, the more you're going to be like, okay, that's why he's 4th or 5th choice. So until teams get wise to the fact that he is limited, I think we sell him. Sell him while the stock is at its highest for us, at least. So I think we have very consensus 4s for the selling of Phillips. And we have what we want to do. Now our guess is, will it happen, yes or no? Chris?
I think it will. I think Brighton or Burnley will be the suitors. I think he'd actually be more suited to Burnley, but I could and Brighton have already got loads of great centre backs anyway. So Burnley for me, £15 million if they can afford it, which they should be able to because they've got new owners. So
yeah.
Burnley for me as well. I can only see him going to Brighton if Ben White goes somewhere. But Burnley for me, because I do think Tarkowski's probably going to go this summer as well from there. So Burnley, yeah. He's a Sean Dyche type player, so fair play to him.
This may be a bit of a hot take, but if Brighton sell Ben White for like 40-50 million pounds they wanted for him, and they sign Phillips as the replacement, that's 10 out of 10 business for Brighton. So
Graham Potter, mate. Graham Potter. Love it.
Awful.
Graham Potter. Come on, boys.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Graham Potter doesn't end up at Everton, because that would be a very
that would break my heart, boys.
That would. Because you have to stop.
I think that's a good shout. That, to be honest, Jack.
Shut up, mate. Shut up. No one likes you.
No, I really do. I think it's a good shout. I'd rather Graham Potter go there than Rafa. But
yeah, Jacob. I think this is the like everyone would want this. Sell Phillips, bring in Kabak. Will it happen? Probably not. If you believe bad news, James Pierce, won't happen. That will wrap up our stream here today.
You haven't asked Kurt.
Oh, Kurt. Yes. Will it happen? Sorry. Jesus. Will it happen, Kurt?
What happens? Oh, wow.
Phillips, will he leave? Yes or no? You want him to?
I think, yeah. I think he goes. He's a proper old school centre back, and I think he'd fit in quite well at Burnley, get the playing time he deserves, realistically. I think that's the best option for him.
Love that from you, Brian, by the way. Great comment. Top level comment.
Yeah. That is some 4D chess. That's what Michael Edwards is thinking at all moments of every day. He's sees several years into the future. But anyways, that will wrap up our stream here today. A nice specified topic. We'll have more of these streams coming up, so make sure to follow us on Twitter for the streams. Go subscribe on the YouTube. We're really, really close to 1K there. So go join us. We're going to have some videos coming out next few days. Euros, transfer content, everything you need. So for myself, Jack, Chris, Kurt, and Maddie, That's going to do it for the stream here today on the LFC Transfer Room. Take care.